Hmm.
And now, if there's anything that anyone wants to talk about, speak up. Now's your time for anybody who's in the group. Any questions, any comments? It's up to you. And you know I'll fill in this time, so don't make me.
I do want to tell you something about the tall whites. They're because of some things that have been happening and because of when the tall whites spoke through you, what, last week, uh, they in my time where I go into my space, Kashima is always there as well as the grandmothers and other teachers, and those come and go. I was there and I looked and they were walking through my woods. And it was then that Kashima told me of their connection, and I hadn't said anything to you yet about that. So I guess I wasn't supposed to let Kashima do it. So, but I thought that was pretty cool. So it just showed that connection that they have, um, the ancients and them have.
And your orb experience too that you relayed.
Yes. Yeah.
And you were not the only one. I mean, I know Jennifer had her connections and recollections of the tall whites from her childhood. And I have connections with them in this geographic area. That's what came through in that one as well. And I know, others in this group and who were there then also had connections. And people who have seen the videos have commented on YouTube that, oh my gosh, this was,
Yes.
something that really
Mhm.
affected me.
Yeah.
And humans are going to have relationships with them because we will be able to detect their energy after the shift that Chuck had talked about earlier and to say to. And that is why they're coming forward now. And that is, they told me to write their book, so they showed it to me, so I know it's already done. And that's one of the things that I hope that humans remember and think about. Every time you think about something, it is automatically created. And how we just have to go
Yeah.
through and see how we get to that point because we can't see that from where we are. We have to take the steps. We can't just go from the bottom floor to the 300th floor of a building. And that's the way it works. We have to climb and do our physical actions and our intents and our emotions to support it. So they showed it to me and it's coming up, and they know they have to wait for the hybrid children book first. But
Well, it was interesting the first time that you talked, or the tall whites spoke through you. Um, it was interesting to me, um, just hearing them, but I didn't feel a direct connection to them at that time. Um, but then, there's so much opening up for everybody. That's just what's going on right now. And as things continue to do this, yeah, it's just going to be more and more for everybody. I mean, the synchronicity of life now is, I just walk around like this little kid in a candy shop looking, going, oh my gosh, look at all this cool stuff. You know,
yep.
I want some of that and I want some of
Well,
that.
and as you know, it wasn't necessary for them to have that connection with you. And now that it is, and I know Jennifer's going to fill us in too.
Yeah,
I just
awesome.
I just wanted to give a little word of encouragement to everyone because there are an increase of experiences and I know all of you are having them. And a lot of times it's just the self-doubt that says, am I really? Am I really? And yes, you are. You are having these experiences, and they're wonderful and they're personal to you and for your journey. And one day when my sister Lisa Marie is over her shyness, she will share how she is incredibly connected with the hybrid children, had many experiences since she visited High Vibe when Ray brought the hybrid children in. So she's very excited, and it's all very exciting. And it's just, I will let you know, and everyone here will let you know that yes, these experiences are real, they're happening,
Oh, yeah.
and just enjoy it. Enjoy it.
Thank you. And
I would like to say that I don't have any experience that I remember or know of the tall whites, but I am an abductee and I have had experiences with the grays. And that, the primary one, I would say, the one I remember the most, the one I think was the most pertinent, was when I was 19, but it'd been going on since I was like 5 years old. And it stopped. Well, I don't really know. I think, oddly enough, because I hear these stories and I never thought of it that way, but once I was no longer of childbearing age, I don't recall having any experiences with the Greys, except right after my child was born. I had one or two where I felt like they were coming for her, and I was very uncomfortable with that. But she never expressed more than like a dream of being on a magic carpet, So I don't know really what I was supposed to learn from all of that other than just an expansion of my consciousness. But I did have that, and it certainly made me, if anyone would talk about abduction or whatever around me, and people would go, "Oh, you're making it up, blah, blah, blah." And I go, "Oh, no, they weren't." And I know it for a fact because I've been there, done that, right? So, and I also wanted to mention or ask Arla, I have a small group that meet on Sunday afternoons, and one of the guys in that group, and I don't know if he read it or received it or what, but you were talking about Sasquatch just being multidimensional, right? And he has said that there are portals all around the earth that the Sasquatch goes through, right? And can leave our physical plane through these portals. Do you know about that?
Um, I know quite a bit
Oh,
about
okay.
portals, but now I have 70 years of knowing them, 70 physical years this lifetime of
Oh,
knowing them. Um, Portals, they're everywhere. They're anywhere. Um, that energy is used. A lot of people say, well, they're only in this area or the only in that area. And that's not true. Now, there are places on the earth that are conducive to portals being there because of the energy that's there. And a lot of the energy is created not only by the energy of the Earth Mother, but of the people that are
mhm.
there as well.
That would make sense. Yeah. Since he talks about it more as physical, but when you were talking, I was thinking more of cis coordination points, that I don't know if you're familiar with that, but they're
Well, they're one of
all
the
over.
things, Kashima had taken me to one of the 13 places that are on the earth.
Mhm.
He didn't go into it, but in these places, they are underground. And at each one, there is a huge crystal skull. And I'm talking gigantic crystal skull that is in the center of this. Yes. And each one has a different skull crystal there.
That makes sense.
And that connects into the 52. The 52 are because the grandmothers had told me years ago that at one time we had 52 strands of DNA. Now, that's not DNA like the human has now. Well,
Yeah.
actually, a lot of humans' DNA, and Patrick can definitely talk about that now, how that DNA is changing. But they are multi-dimensional. Uh, I work with several different star people now, and have, I guess I'm connected into them, and through the Arcturian, I am connected to all of the energy lines that are here on the earth. And I'm not talking about specifically the grid lines, because there are many, and there are mutable, moving energy lines on this earth, depending on what is needed. And I'm connected into that with what I do. I have the light codes, which was given by the Arcturian Ishmael. And these are on my YouTube page. It is actually lights that are codes. And I was allowed to video this actually. And what it does is it opens up your DNA, and it connects into your DNA and begins to open up, and you can get downloads, but what it is for is to help raise the consciousness of humanity. And
Excellent.
so,
Thank you.
but yes, and from what I'm told, many people have been what they call abducted, taken. And there are many star seeds on the earth right now from those things that are human and carry the genetics of different star people
Yeah.
from
Yeah.
different places.
And thank you, Chuck, for coming in. And I wish people would lose that word abducted and put volunteered instead,
Yeah,
because
yeah,
you have agreed to do all of that, maybe not on the
Well,
physical level, but it
yeah,
carries a connotation that scares other people
yeah,
away. And that's one of the things that the Greys have to work against them, because they're related to us. They are our
yeah,
relatives.
yeah.
And if it wouldn't be for them, then we wouldn't be having open contact, because they help save our worlds in many, many timelines from going down the same path they did. And they recognized that. That's why they reached out. That's why they created the Sasani. That's why they created the Yaels, or had hands in it. And it's my
Well, I
understanding,
think that
I was going to
I
say,
was
it's
going
my
to say, I think
understanding that
that,
the Sasquatch don't need a portal. They can move whatever they want because they're foundational energy for
yeah,
the earth. They don't need any other access points. They can move freely as they will, as the tall whites can.
yeah.
that's interesting. Well, I think,
And the Arcturians
Mhm.
as well. And the Arcturians um, don't need ships either,
Mhm.
don't need
oh
portals,
yeah,
don't need anything. They just are.
yeah.
And that, and basically that's what we are. And
Well, I understand that, and I think that, like one of the things, I don't know if it was Seth or if it was Eve, told me I had to get the word work out of my vocabulary and replace it with the word play, right? And that's been a challenge, I'll tell you. But I think the whole thing about being abducted or saying abductee is because at the time it doesn't feel voluntary. I mean, I know that it is. I know that. But at the time that it was occurring, and remember, like I said, the biggest one, I was 19. I didn't have any clue about any of the stuff that like we're talking about here today, right? I didn't. I just knew that something was going on where I couldn't move, I couldn't this and that, and other things that occurred as time went on were frightening to me. And so it's, even though I know now that I volunteered, that word has stuck with me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's another thing that I need to get out of my vocabulary.
Well, you're
And
creating that past now, right?
yes,
So from
yes,
this
that's
moment.
true.
So if you
Yes,
say that you volunteered, then you no longer have those connotations because you were never abducted. It's what you believe happened. And we
right. It's
create
what
our
I'm
future
creating in
in,
every
right.
moment.
And
I'm
we
creating.
create our past never happened. It's all
That's right.
now. And those are just stories we create to give us context to help us
Yes.
navigate.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we have to relearn all those lessons over again.
Yeah,
So, no matter what happened in your past, if you rephrase it, it didn't happen the way that you previously remembered it. Now, any of those trauma energies will still be in your bodily form. They still have to be released.
yeah,
So those will stick with you. But we can say, that that stuff didn't happen. Those people were loving. And that was just, the way that we did it. And that takes some reconciling. That's a more rather advanced lesson. But
right.
that's one of the things we can do. And I recommend that we do. And thank you, Zoe and George, for stepping up and stepping out.
Yeah, that and during that time period, there were a lot of things that were misunderstood. And
Yeah.
I use that misunderstood analogy a lot when working with people who are Bigfoot researchers, is what they call themselves, or Sasquatch researchers, and they haven't come to understand that there's more here, and that fear, you know they're afraid when something happens. I have people come to me all the time, I was really scared. And the thing is, when you don't understand the nature of something, whether it's an experience or another being, for a big part of the time, this 3D human jumps up and fear takes over. And that fear comes from a misunderstanding, and that was what was happening. Of course, we lived in a time then too where there was so much fear spread about the possibility of an alien invasion and all of the other things that.
And the stories. And I have to say that I didn't experience anything negative from the Greys. They didn't probe me, they didn't poke my eyes, they didn't do anything like that. They just I guess watched me would be the thing, looked at me. They put me on some kind of pedestal, and there were tons of them just like looking at me. And then the tall ones came in and they were looking at me. And I don't remember much more than that until I went under hypnosis many, many, many years later. And the thing that was interesting about that is that I had an implant in one of my ankles, right? And after the hypnosis, where I remembered more of it, the implant disappeared. It was gone. It was taken away. So I don't know what that means, but that was it. They did what they did, and that was it. But I was fearful for my daughter.
Yeah.
When I was fearful for her, I will say that. And it's kind of like, why? They didn't do anything to me to make me fearful other than the stories that you hear, but to me personally, nothing. So why would I worry about my daughter? But that's maybe just a parental thing.
Yes, I think you're right. uh, do a lot of things for our children and feel a lot of things for our children. So yeah, I would definitely. I've worked through the years, I've worked with a lot of people who had a hard time with what was going on when from what I understand and what I'm told, all of these things that they were doing, it wasn't just harvesting DNA or whatever to create and bring to life these hybrid beings. Um, they were checking things, other things. They were checking how the bodies were. They knew that our bodies had changed,
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah.
they kept up with that. They kept up with um, how our consciousness was changing, how the things were, and this was done very scientifically, as far as if you want to put it in that category of science, that they kept up with that and what was going on. And they helped us in many ways that a lot of people are just coming to understand that by that experience, there were things that happened that helped that growth of that person in some way.
Well, and when the please understand that the Greys lost all ability to feel emotions. They had no understanding. So they had no idea what they were doing to humans when they first reached out to do this, that it was going to affect the humans. And they didn't understand the humans' reactions were bad. They didn't have that emotion because all they knew is, hey, on a higher self, this was all worked out. But now, then they learned. So they learned to have a little bit different approach as opposed to that. But those memories stuck around. And another thing is humans aren't really cognizant that your bodies know what's going to happen, at times days or weeks in advance. That's
Yeah,
why you
yeah.
crave certain things to get certain nutrition in your body so your body will be prepared for those adrenaline rushes or those fear events or whatever it might be. So as a parent, your body knows, and that's why we have those things, because we don't know how our children are going to react to this. That uncertainty creates a little
Mhm.
bit of apprehension in us because we love those beings and we want them to have the best. And if we don't know, it's beyond our, obviously, it's beyond our 3D experience. But if we don't have that conscious tapping into that part of it, then it's rather unsettling. And please, Jennifer, please interrupt me. You know how I am.
Oh no, it goes with it reminded me because Sparkling and I, she was sharing with me that I don't know, did you read it in a book about the Sasquatch feeling the weather changes in their hair?
Did I read about it in a book?
Sparkling,
Oh, asked you.
yes. She, no, she,
Can you hear?
we can hear you now.
Yeah.
It was actually a post on Facebook that I saw after I posted something.
Okay. Yes. So she shared that with me, and I said, wow, okay, because I mean, this is something for years, not just me, but a lot of my immediate family members, where we know what the weather is going to do all the
Yeah.
time. And I even have some health kind of issues. I've started to look at them differently now, but knowing that that's just a sensory thing. So I was thinking about our relation, my people, we believe that we're related to Sasquatch. And I just wondered if you felt anything about that, like our connection to be able to sense that kind of thing, weather changes and barometric pressure changes because of our connection to Sasquatch.
Yes. Also to the moon. If you have a connection to Grandmother Moon, your body, the water or the in your body reacts. You're like a barometer,
That,
kind of.
yes,
that this happens. And they are very much, they are attuned to the Earth Mother far past what most could even understand. I mean, Kashima talks about it like this was a birthing of his child. When the Earth Mother, when all of that came together and this spark was there that was to be birthed, that they had such a part in it. And if you look at them in the physical, and they are different in some ways. There are three different kinds. There is Kashimas, who are the ancients who choose not to take a maid or have children. They're totally in service. And then there are those who did mate with humans. And then there are those who are the pure. And all three of those are so connected to this earth. And it just amazes me. And to feel that love from them, from all the people that I've talked to over the last 16 years, that connection usually comes to them. Those people open up because of being in the woods, loving the water, those natural parts of this earth's existence is a connection. And when that connection is made with them, that love that grows from that for this natural world is, when I talk about the Earth Mother, she is a mother. To me, she is a mother. And for them, they embody that. They chose to be here. They didn't come here because somebody made them come here or brought them here to mine things. You hear all kinds of stories that people talk about, that they were brought here as slaves to mine this or that. That is not true. They came here by choice because they have a love for this earth. And that encompasses humanity too.
Yes.
Okay, what about, is there, I have experienced, and my mother and my sister, transparent, fiery red beings. Anybody know anything about them? Oh, look at Jennifer. She's going to enlighten me.
I've seen them. Arla would have more to share about it because I had to ask her about it. But I see them everywhere. And I was just like, I never knew. This is just a few months ago. I think it was September when I first started seeing them around the fire and just in other places too. And I haven't fully connected yet, but I just know fire teaches me things. But Arla, you shared.
Well, these are part of the energy of Grandpa Fire. And I call fire Grandpa because that is the energy that comes from the fire for me. Now, there are extensions of that too that you will see away from Grandpa Fire, but it is that fire energy. And
Interesting.
it's interesting energy because it has a multitude of ways to work through you and with you. I mean, if you look at Grandpa Fire in the simple way of how many people say, "Oh, I can't wait to get out to the campfire.
Oh,
I
yeah, yeah.
just sit there and just gaze into the fire," and you feel so calm. And it just is such a good feeling. So, that would be something that I've seen and that I understand as it's an extension of the energy of Grandpa Fire.
Well, that's good to hear. I always associated, I don't know why, because I couldn't figure out how they would be connected, but because it was mostly happening at the same time, I thought they must somehow be connected to the Greys. And I couldn't figure that out. It was, I guess I was just open at
Mhm.
during those years, open to different energies coming
Yes.
to
Yeah.
visit me, but it's like, what the heck is that? What is he doing in my room? You
Yeah.
know?
For me personally, I'm at a very transformative time in my life. So when I see that, it feels like that's what it's there for me. Just like a kind of burning the old away and things like that. So that's what I feel. But
Ah,
I'm sure it's, you know, different for everyone. But I've seen exactly what you're saying, transparent, red, fiery. First I
yep.
saw them around the fire, now I'm seeing them everywhere. But that's what it speaks to me, just the
I'm
transformation.
I'm glad to hear that because sometimes, you see these things and you're like, okay, am I making this up? Which we are all, our whole, but
We're
before,
creating it.
yeah, before I was aware of that, I'd be like, what the what? And then not like I think we talked before, Jennifer, about how when I first found Seth and started getting into esoteric stuff, I would make things up because I couldn't handle what others would say to me, and then eventually I was like, yeah, screw them, take it or leave it, right? But they would say, what are you studying? What is this weird stuff you're studying? I'd say, oh, it's just a form of psychology.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, and I would just leave it at that. Uh,
Okay, Sparkling, did you have something you wanted to say?
Yes, I did. Talking about fire, it reminded me of a question I had thought of earlier. You post about honoring the moon and the fire and offering to the fire and stuff. And I was just wondering, like, how would you do that for the air?
oh,
You
interesting.
know, so much of what we each do comes to us as to what we are supposed to do. If you want to give something to the air, or if you want to release something in the air, then become the air and let that air blow through you and surround you and release that into it. Yeah, Ray, like wind spirits. The wind people talk all the time to the tree people, and they let us in on their conversations. And so whether you're going to release it to the earth, if you want to release it to the earth mother, you bury it. You put it in the earth mother. The same with anything that you're trying to transmute, the earth mother will take it. And so you're in such a cool place right now because you are forming so many of your heart ceremonies within yourself and how your heart's guiding you. And that's the most important way. I can show people, okay, this is how I do this, but that might not resonate with someone else. I don't mind to share, but what I hope to do is to help people connect with their higher self, that being that knows already.
Yeah.
And keep in mind that all of the elementals and that energy that we experience is expressed in an infinite number of realms, but it does not take the same form. Like water here has steam, ice, and water, liquid. It could be fire in another one. It could be trees. It could be
Yeah, yeah.
anything in any other expression, but it is that elemental energy which goes through and transfers into that. And I did want to get back to Bill on his question about the golden beings. There are beings who specialize in taking up residence temporarily in auric fields. And that energy can be detected by others, and they do not have to stay in those fields, but that's where they are comfortable. And they can separate from those auric fields, and that may be what your experience was. I have seen that once before, and it was a very heart-centered gentleman who was due at a seminar, and every time he moved, there was this huge golden being which surrounded him and extended beyond his aura. I was just crying, and people didn't understand why, because I was just overcome with the love that I felt from that. And he was 50, 60 feet away from me. And now I don't know if that was your experience, but that was my experience for that.
No. And in fact, every time I've asked someone who did some kind of whatever whatever word you use for channeling, there's lots of different words for it. I've gotten a different answer and realized that I'm just going to eventually have to somehow. I haven't done it, and this was like in 1972, a long time ago. I have to go back and recreate it and know what it was for sure. And that was a long time ago. I've had lots of experiences since then, but I still am not sure. What I saw was I was walking at night in the woods on an old wagon road that had a curve that went uphill, and this being was at the center of the curve, and I happened to turn and notice it. I could see through him. It was a he. I was quite sure he was aware of me. I was aware of him. He seemed to be made. It was like he was made of glass or something, and there was this even sort of golden brown glow emanating, and he didn't move, and I didn't walk up to him and go, "Hey, well, who are you?" I just kept walking and looked back, and he was still there, and I was freaked, a bit freaked by it. I don't, and that's what I saw. That's what I experienced. And the answers people that I like and have and value who have given me over the years are so very different. One of the more interesting answers was and it was detailed. This was Lord of Dance. The one of the names for the Hindu Shiva, and it was described as skipping between planes, doing something like that. I don't know.
Well, you know what I told you is
Yes,
correct
yes, and
because I'm always
I've gotten
correct.
similar answers to yours more than once. You created that. That's part of you.
And
Um,
he went on. He went
yeah,
on to have
yeah,
his own existence, you
yeah,
know?
yeah, yeah. So
That's not what I explained to you. I didn't have all of those details, but that was just one experience which came to me that I had personally. And you can always come back and ask in another session.
yeah,
Yeah, the different opinions from different people. Didn't you say something about a blue man? Who said they saw a blue man?
There there are a couple different blue beings, but I will let somebody else answer that one.
I have to
It was
go.
Louise that had
Okay, thank you,
mentioned it.
Bill.
Thank you for doing all this, and it was fun. And do you do this every week at this time?
We have 2 sessions every Thursday and 2 sessions every Sunday as well. Now, next week we have on Thanksgiving, I'm doing an open invitation channeling, which is rather different because I open up and any being which is interested in coming in comes in. And the people who have shown up in the past have really enjoyed that, even though there's not a lot of Q&A in it, but they were just fascinated about that. And thank you very much, Heidi and Sparkling, for mentioning Luis had the information on the blue beings.
And that's 6 o'clock, right? Six
Yes, we're
o'clock
doing that
Central Standard.
it's 6 o'clock. I don't care if it's Central Time or Eastern Time. I mean, I don't know
What's
if later would be better. Well, what do you guys think? Is later better or does it matter? Okay, we'll do 6 o'clock Central Time. I'll make it easy for me then, which would
Yeah.
be
Where
seven
do you
o'clock Eastern. I'm
where
in
do you
St.
post?
Louis.
Are you going to post these on this
Yeah,
new?
it'll be on the High Vibe Channeling Facebook page and in our messenger group as well. So, and it'll go about 90 minutes, maybe 2 hours, and as long as the energy lasts and people are interested.
Okay, very good. So
So, and
good.
thank you, Bill.
Yep. Good night.
Good night.
I can figure out how to get out of here.
I can kick you out if you need it.
Okay, no, I got it.
All right. And thank you very much, Christine.
Yeah.
Appreciate your energy.
Night.
Good night.
I'm going to exit too.
Oh, sure. Break our hearts after you filled them.
I have to say I just love grandmother. That
Ancestor grandmothers et al. Is their official title.
oh well, okay.
They are the umbrella of Kashima. They bring in, they speak for themselves as well, but they bring in Kashima. Thank you, Jennifer. And as well, Circe, who is a moon water person, who is like a star being who I've been connected to and talking to. And she has, explained to me, that's her right up there. It's a painting of her.
Oh,
And
cool.
so she has thank you, Sparkling. I appreciate you too, sweetie. Um, and there are others, the star people. Those
What is
are
the
the only ones who
what is the language that you're speaking?
it's a light language. It's light language is love language. It's language of the heart.
But it's really
Um,
different than other light language I've heard.
It's a different
uh,
expression.
yeah. His expression is different than when the grandmothers speak light language too. If you
Yeah,
ever
yeah.
hear them, his expression is bolder,
Yeah, more like a
maybe.
hammer than a feather.
Yeah, uh, almost like some things are quick and
Uh-huh.
choppy and like this is how it is, and
Yeah,
so
yeah. Well,
he's
and I guess that's not surprising. I mean, we don't all speak the same language here,
no, not
so
Jennifer. Some of her uncles. So yeah, I just yeah,
that's for
he
sure.
has very much that
Excuse me.
indigenous feel, and part of that grandfather has to do with that connection through that. He calls himself a primal being, not primitive, but primal, meaning from the beginning, the spark of life. So,
Okay. Yeah, I still and once it's my turn to channel, as soon as I can fit it in, we're going to talk a lot about it. But I still have, I can't say still have, I have been having a lot of difficulty and issues with anything that has to do with linear time, right? And it's just I don't know. I've told, well, Bill and some of the other people I know that there are times when I can't even talk, because I don't know what to say because it doesn't fit into linear time. If I take it out of linear time, it doesn't make sense to lots of people, blah, blah, blah. And I sit there and I'm like, don't know how to talk sometimes about some of these things. But yeah. But see, Eve's laughing at me. She does that a lot. She says she'll figure it out. But because we, I was talking to Ray about I don't know what I'm gonna talk about, and I should tell
You
y'all.
will.
Yeah,
You will.
exactly.
Yeah.
So
It'll
that
just it'll
it
just be,
comes.
yeah,
Yeah,
it'll
that's
just
what she says. She says, you let me worry about that. So I said, well, that's true. It's never like she's never been at a loss for words. I have been, but Eve never has been. So yeah. And with that said, I will contact you, Ray, about it's the eye issue, the eye shot issues. They keep changing when I'm supposed to do it. But they said I have to have it done by the 8th.
Okay.
So that puts a
Well, whatever's best for you, we'll work it out.
yeah, exactly. Okay, love being here and meeting everybody and being
Thank
part of
you, Yvonne and Eve, your higher
oh,
self, which comes in and you channel.
yeah, she's always around. Okay, I will see y'all next Thursday.
all
Okay,
right.
cool.
Okay,
Bye
Bye.
now. What fun. I know, and I got up at a little after 3 this morning, and I was like, "Oh, I'd love to take a nap." Yeah, and like Art Linkletter said, who's older than you guys probably remember, but life is what happens when humans or when we make plans.
Oh, I know Art Linkletter very
Yes,
well. Yeah.
it was a little before my time, but
Yep.
I remember lots of that older stuff.
It wasn't before my time.
Is he
Yeah,
related to the filmmaker Richard Linklater?
I don't know.
Okay, I was just
Mhm.
curious.
I mean, like I'm sure I'm one of the few people around, maybe not Arla, who remembers Ernie Kovacs.
I know who
And
Ernie
he was
Kovacs is.
he was one of the first people to ever do special effects on TV. He freaked lots of people out because he had water running upside down, and it was strange.
There
But
was, yeah, it was interesting. Yeah, because I will be 76 next month. So, I go back
yeah,
away.
yeah, and he did about 15 or more characters. He was one of the original people who did multiple characters on one show. And that kind of set the stage for lots of other people who came on after that. But if you go and look, it's all in grainy black and white film because
Mm.
that's all that they had whenever he was coming out. Anyway,
Yep.
enough time traveling.
It it was a good evening. Very
Thank
good.
you. Yes, it was very energetic. And while I'll go ahead and post the after discussion too, just in case anybody wants to revisit it. I know it's helpful for me just to scan through the transcripts at times that YouTube puts out. But yeah, because my typing, I got my hand cramps or whatever, and I just decided to focus instead.
Yep. And I'm
What?
embarking after the first of the year on doing a Zoom workshop. It'll have 7 sessions, 1 session a week, and it's going to be called Living from the Heart.
On
And
Tuesdays.
there will be a guided meditation in it and discussion and things. So I'm excited about that.
Whee! And
Yeah.
Angie, all of our sessions are posted on our YouTube channel, High Vibe Channeling, which is one of the four which I keep up on, which keeps me very busy. Although with the Hybrid Children book, I haven't been quite as busy, but I still get to try to get one of them every week or so or more. Um, I have channeling hybrid children, channeling future Pleiadians and friends, channeling beings of light, and then high vibe channeling.
Ray, am I the first or second session on Sunday?
Dun, dun, dun. Luckily, I have the schedule up. Um, I have you down as second. I have Mousy first.
Okay. I was just curious. Thank you.
Mhm. And you know, she's pretty flexible, but she's Eastern time, so
Yeah, I'm Eastern. It works out. It's fine.
okay.
I kind of preferred the second.
Hey, you know how we flow. Everybody gets what they like and what they need, and when somebody drops out, somebody drops in. I think I sent a big thank you to Brother Francis for calling off and having those computer problems last week because we wouldn't have had that your galactic origins meditation which came out instead. And my whole life is just amazing. I'm in awe all the time. Woohoo. Yes, so high vibe channeling for the replays and all of the previous sessions. I think there's 126 or so different videos on that. Maybe not that many. That might be the high vibe channeling. I don't know. I think overall I think I have 400 subscribers to all four of them, but most of them are for our group. I know there's probably only like 90 something for high vibe channeling, but it goes up every couple of days. More people come on.
I meant to ask, the night that I brought through Jophiel and the Angels, that replay wasn't posted, and I just wondered if maybe it was too
What?
personal.
No.
Okay.
What day was that?
It
Was it
was
Sun?
it was a while ago. I can't remember.
Well, I can find. Do you know what month it was? Because I can go back and look at the schedule. Because maybe that was one that Luis didn't get to, or
Right. Um,
but he still has them, and I'll post them if I can.
it might have even been September.
It was in the last month because I was here
It
for it.
was October? Okay.
Yeah.
I'd have to look at an old schedule and remember when I
Okay.
don't even know what day it is
Well, we
today.
have one from 2 months ago on your debut, and then we
Yeah.
had the animal elders.
There was one, there
We
was
had the native spirit Anangkwe.
in between Ananque and the animal elders, there was the angelic channeling. I
Yeah.
wondered if it got really personal for a lot of people, so I wonder if that was the reason.
It could have been the 19th of October.
Okay. Thank you, Christiana.
Let's see.
It was
Oh,
Jophiel came through with
yeah, that was with Brother Francis.
yes, yes.
I have the notes here, but I'm
Do
not showing that one. I think Luis might have missed that one.
Okay. I was just curious.
I'm
Some people
guessing,
were asking me
but
about it, and I said, I don't know.
yeah, but
check the
I'm glad you
19th of
brought that
October.
up so we can get that out. Yeah, because yeah, I think he got wrapped up with our Bridging Worlds 3, and that might have gotten lost in the shuffle because I don't have an email of that. So thank you for bringing that up so I can write that down. Yeah, yeah, because when I go through and update the master list, I put down all of the sessions and who got what, and I make a list of what's missing. And And we definitely need Jennifer and the Angels. Yeah, that was awesome.
Good night.
Good night. Thank you,
Sorry.
Arla, very much. Much love to you. Woohoo.
And to you
And to
as
yours.
well. And I'm glad you said something, Christiana, because I hadn't heard you all night long.
No, it's okay. I've spoken other times a lot, and now there were so many people. I thought it's okay.
Yeah, I never get that thought.
Good
And
night,
good night,
Angie.
Angie. Thank you.
Right, Angie.
Rest well, everyone.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
trying to.
And thanks, Lisa Marie, for adding your energy, if not your voice.
Yes.
She'll talk one day.
Well, she's talking, just not to us.
Yeah. She'll call me later. That's
You
my
might
sister,
even be
Arla.
talking to us.
Uh,
And Heidi is listening and
yes,
resting.
Miss Heidi. So I'm going to fall asleep
Yes.
Yeah,
if I don't go.
I'm fading a bit too, but all this energy, I don't want to let go. Thank you, Jennifer.
Good night, everyone.
Good night. Dun dun dun. They're dropping not like flies, like high vibrational beings. And good night, Heidi. And good night, Lisa Marie. And once again, we're back to just the two of us, Christina.